Hello, everybody. Good evening. This is Dr. Rao coming to spend my happy hour with people. I like to come and relate to people. We were talking about how mental health has worsened in United States, especially after the COVID, and how it is worsening more with the long COVID. And I do have students who have long COVID coming to my wellness club every day. So I see they're suffering directly. They have memory problems, they have fatigue problems, they have difficulty breathing problems, and they have relationship problems because of the um, you know uh, communications and not able to do the stuff as they used to do because of the fatigue and because of the mental fog and all that, right? So I'm trying to teach them to be in the moment and also overcome the mental identification. Those I recommended to a student this morning. So as the mental health incidence and the severity is worsening, I thought I would do kind of a lot of things that I kind of talk about and teach for many people with depression, with anxiety, with confusion, not having clarity about who they are, those kind of issues, right? So all this week, maybe more than a week, I was talking about this mental health with the perspective of how positive psychology has risen, and the root of that positive psychology is ancient wisdom. They cannot implement all the ancient wisdom principles as much as they could implement the positive psychology, which is understandable for many people. So I was talking both, right? Kind of most of the ancient wisdom principles, and also uh, so welcome people, Jennifer, Western philosopher. That's nice, and Duby. Thanks for being here. But this is going to be the final day that I'm talking about on this topic. Yesterday, I touched on some of the um, uh, things that you can do with the mind and understand the mind and all that. Okay, today I'm going to talk about how modern people are not really taking care of the mind and not giving it a chance for it to regenerate itself, and all the information that is flowing to us is not helping either, especially the distractions that are designed into social media. All the selling and all that is not really helping our mind. Okay, and especially people who have not developed this inner mental resilience, they are falling apart when the life's challenges become a little tougher, or they are not having the family support, they're not having the um, camaraderie with the employees that they used to have, because now they are working remote alone by themselves, so they're not able to deal with these problems, right? So it's like a just a colleague or friend or fellow human being. I just want to share what are the things that have worked in the realm of ancient people, the yogis, the rishis, the uh, planet lovers, any number of types of people have this inner resilience because they understood the inner mechanisms of our thinking, our feeling, our uh, instincts, our natural intelligence that was not eroded by so much of mm, things that we think they are real. Okay, concepts, for example. If you look at somebody through the lens of conceptual thinking, then you will analyze them and you will attribute to them some of the qualities they may not have them, they may not be displaying at that moment. But our image making mechanism or conceptual analytical thinking may give them certain shape, certain way of looking them, right? Then you're going to miss that person who is there at the time. This happens with a lot of spousal relationships, right? They imagine a particular kind of image and then they're really relating to the image, and then they may find that image is objectionable, and so they will be having a lot of problems with that. Anyway, the main thing is, if the mental health is worsening, one aspect is look at the reasons why it is getting worse and then try to avoid those reasons. That's simply said than done very well. But if you attend to the individual human being, and then the individual human being kind of develops certain habits on a daily basis, that he could restore his um, health of the mind and health of our thoughts and emotions and all that, then it is much easier for that person to handle, and also that kind of person acting in union with the other people may help the decrease the mental health worsening phenomena, right? And psychology, psychiatry field as a whole is moving more towards positive psychology. How can we build up that inner capacity that everybody has, and then bring those out, those strengths out, rather than wallowing on the weaknesses that we may have developed because of the culture or because of the societal habits or because of lack of awareness, right? All those things can happen, right? So build the strength and deal with the challenges. That's more like the yogis did. What they did, for example, they went into Himalayas. They walked barefoot on icy mountains. They developed the physical, mental resilience by encountering not only outward difficult situations, but also this being alone, not having anybody around, and dealing with wild animals and elements and all that gave them real strength, both physical and mental, and that they used to conquer the difficulties there. Okay, we not only domesticate our physical realm, but also mentally also we are very sentimental, emotional, um, and we think that is like, oh, I'm just a human being, I'll have this. That is something they did not accept. As a human being, I have this intelligence. I can really develop my own inner capacities, so I don't have to cry like, oh, I'm just a human, that's why I'm feeling like this, I'm fearful, I'm anxious, I'm kind of depressed about things, I lose my mood very quickly. All those things we consider as human. Those weaknesses we don't have to be. Yes, especially now with so much attack, with the information overload, with a lot of interruptions and so much happening in the information age, right? So all those things that are happening in the information age, we need to study and know about them right now. So I'm doing a paper on that. What are the weaknesses? What are the problems of information age? Mind you, I did say that I use the information age technology very productively. constructively. So I have no problem with that, but I also have the responsibility to voice out the weaknesses that I see with information is technology. Like people are becoming more anxious, people are more becoming attention deficit, people are becoming more overwhelmed with information, people are becoming more uh, isolated and not relating properly with their spouses or their family or to the society as a whole. And also, interpersonal relationships have been going down. So many other things are there, but I'm going to do that as a project. Bring out what are the problems of information age and what could we do about it. I'm just not just going to point it out, but I'm going to suggest the ways that we could do with the simple lifestyle changes, with simple understanding of things, with simple awareness of what is going on and why we are not aware of them. Okay, that kind of thing. I think that will be another practical paper where it is going to be very important to children and young people to know what is going on with the information age, what are the things that are under the mat we can we are allowing them to grow. Okay, that kind of thing. So on this last talk, I want to focus on how we can really help our mind, go uh, over the perceived weaknesses or the um, general problems of not cleaning the mind on a regular basis, right? Some people go to the therapist and they kind of regurgitate everything, and then they think they have gained some support and all that. May be, they may not be, but the psychologist or the therapist who is really able to reflect and who is able to direct you to march towards that finding out your true self, they are okay. But I think they are far in the few in between. They go by some theories, they brand you certain diagnoses, and they tell you, oh, you should have been like this, or your past memories do something like that. I don't think many people are helped by that. So now you got to really learn to. Um, the first thing is, do you sleep well? If you sleep well, that is going to be trying to really help you nurture or rejuvenate your body, all the organs, and also your mind. That's the essential purpose of the sleep. Good sleep, very deep quality sleep. Even if you do that for 2 to 3 hours, you will be very refreshed. Okay, it does help that you have enough physical exercise, and it does help if you are very focused in whatever you do during the day. You know, and it does help if you don't take any extraneous substances like even coffee, even tea, even cigarette, alcohol, and narcotic drugs or medications. Many number of them can interfere with your circadian rhythm. The every 12 hours things change, right? So the culture also makes you stay up late night, and all those things are not really good because we forgot about why can't I unwind myself at the end of the day? Because people think that's a waste of time and that's being lazy or whatever, right? So that's kind of, we are kind of throwing away very, very, you know, low hanging fruit, which is come home, reflect on the day, put the things aside that are not needed, just reinforce the positives and sleep on the positives. That itself makes a lot of benefit to your mind. People are really reinforcing their mental tendencies, mental occurrences, and then they kind of develop these addictions to get away from that. Some people may take a sleeping pill. Some people may take a sip of alcohol. Some people may really uh, do some hard drugs and all that. Okay, which is not good in the long run. We know that, So, being a yogi, I am not addicted to anything, not even coffee, not even tea, not even um, even thinking. Right? Many people are addicted to their thinking, but I'm not. I use that as the objective thing, right? So, important thing is sleep well. Understand why you are not sleeping well. Do you do any of these things? Do you have the sleep ambience? Do you have the unwinding of your body and mind? Do you know what is yoga nidra? That means yoga sleep. Do you know what is corpse pose, like a dead man's pose? Do you know scanning the whole body in the wheelchair? All these things are aids to enhance your sleeping pattern, right? And how do you do during the day? Do you pay attention to everything that you do? That kind of quality attention done completely during the day will help you, really help you. Okay, so after all these things, and then if you can understand the mechanism thought according to the yoga science, and then how that can become a present for you, how that can form a network, and that network itself becomes independent, and then it will work unconsciously too, unaware of it. That's what happens to a lot of elderly people, because they don't know that they are building this network, because they are not dismantling it on a daily basis. It's like this: you see something, a stimuli, and you initiate that impression in your mind. It comes in this, there's a response, and then you allow the response to go unnoticed unconsciously. Then what happens is that response goes into your subconscious and forms what are called sanskaras, or ingrained thoughts. Neuroplasticity is where you allow the same thought go on and on and on. That becomes a neuronal path, and that gives you more cortex, either good or bad. You can make your own brain, right? If you know how to do it. Otherwise, you may have found some scaras that are really out of your control, and they pop up, and then you have to reinforce them, or degrade them, right? Most of the people don't do that. So all I'm saying is, leave the day of attention, unwind yourself, relax completely, and then go on positivity, if you can be positive thoughts, or maybe empty mind, if you can do that. If you cannot do the empty mind, that's fine, just be positive and go and sleep on that, right? And then you will allow your preliminaries of the sleep ambience should be improved. Only the sleeping place should be only for sleep, and then provide enough darkness, and don't do activities that keep your mind going on. TV is gone if you stick to that. So any images on the cell phone or the iPad gone, right? And you have to be able to shut them off half an hour before you sleep, right? And then uh, when you sleep, don't use any drugs, but use maybe light music, or light reading, or maybe milk, or hot shower, or simple yoga stretches that kind of allow the relaxation much better. I can show you full relaxation even while sitting, or lying on the floor, or lying on the bed. You can do that, right? And then whatever sleep you do will be, because you have prepared your body and mind before sleep. You'll have a nice sleep, and after you get up also, you don't allow the activated thought or I thought just come over and occupy you. Just be in the natural awareness and continue the day. Don't open these devices at least for half an hour, right? This kind of reflection and taking all the uh, small or irrelevant or trivial thoughts, wash them off. Don't give them life again. And if there's big things that you want to uh, keep in your mind, don't keep them, but write it down on the paper and put it next to your table. That will be very good. Okay. So preparation of the day, preparation just before you go to sleep, all that aids you to empty the mind of all this negativity. And using the deep good sleep for a few hours allows your mind to rejuvenate itself. All the body organs also like that, right? So very important to look at the quality of sleep and cultivate these behavior patterns. And then after you get up, don't open the devices for half an hour, and also allow yourself to be related to the nature, paying attention to the life around you, the plants, the people. Don't have to have a debating conversation, but just be aware that they are there, appreciate them, and really relate to them pleasantly, nicely, that kind of thing. Pay attention to how they are doing, what they are doing, and all that. Pets and any life around you, if you pay attention, that will be good. Before you embark on your train of thought patterns and network of thought. So don't create that, right? But what happened with our life is we are so electrical, right? Um, so any very, very mercurial thought. I can think of something now, and within a couple of seconds, I can go to far corners of the world and come back in my thought, right? Anybody can do that, right? And the more we allow our mind to think like that unconsciously without any aim or without any conscious intention, then those are the ones which form the samskaras I told you about, the ingrained thoughts. And they go and settle down in your subconscious and they come up whenever they want. So you got to have a mechanism to clean your mind. Okay. I found a paper that was said to be several thousands of years ago, and it's not like a paper. It's like a writing of this several measures of good health, right? So they kind of the first thing they put there is sleep on a positive mind. Don't be angry, don't be sulking, don't be regretting any of those negative. We know about. Suppose we run into some argument with our spouse or with our parents or with our children, then we will be really seething and sulking sometimes and going, right? That everybody can do. But remembering that and let it go, just forgive them and forget and then sleep on that, it will be wonderful. So this is called cognitive reframing in the modern science. In Sanskrit, in yoga, it's called pratipaksha bhavana. That means if your negative thinking is there, you deliberately change it to positive, right? Maybe it opened a dialogue between you and whoever you are arguing with, and that particular person is more like, uh, you know, is opening up a discussion so that you can have more opened up and then communicate with each other. It could be a spouse, it could be a child, it could be a parent, whatever, right? But the essential thing is first try to identify your thinking is positive or negative, and then you change the negative to positive and sleep on. That is the one principle they talked about in those eight principles to keep your immune system very healthy. Okay. Anyway, that's a different thing. I will talk about it later. I have talked about it several times too. um, and then suppose if you want to be like that, you want to clean up all the thinking, you got to understand, normally what happens is, generally with these modern minds, people have scattered thoughts, continuous thought, unconscious thoughts, unaware thoughts, right? People really say this chatter, this continuous rumbling in my head, that's what I cannot take it, right? So modern information age is actually exaggerating it. Okay, so it used to be very calm and quiet atmosphere, not much of radio, TV, and all that, and then people were singing songs and sleeping. I knew in my childhood, my grandfather, lived up to 106, I think. He used to come. He was in 92-year-old. He used to climb up the stairs, steep stairs in my house, and they used to come up, and then really, it was a delight to be with him. And he used to sing beautifully. See, we were having this big palatial home, so our bottom is like a 20 rooms, and the top is like a 7 or 8 rooms, I think. But we have a lot of balcony, like a big balcony, both the front and the back. So it's a tropical country. So we used to have carts there, and then we used to be under the starry night, and then he used to sing these beautiful poems, and I enjoyed that experience very much. And that was very soothing to go to sleep. Okay. So he used to sing about good things and age-old moral stories and all that. Okay. Anyway, what it is there was no artificial entertainment. It was all natural, right? So that kind of thing is very good too. So in our information age, because we have these phones now, like computer, more than computers, my phone can do a lot of stuff my computer can do, probably equally or more also. But if I don't watch it, I can get addicted to the phone. That's the most people are. But I should be able to put it away and really go into my real inner self. That's what I was recommending to people. Half an hour or maybe 15 minutes before you go to sleep, put the phone away. Don't be disturbed by its emails, by messages or notification. Shut it off and don't reach for it. Okay, and that will be a good thing to allow yourself to calm your scattered mind, gather together. That's the first step. Second step is watch those thoughts that are coming. As you take deep breaths, as you are focusing, thoughts will be fewer, right? And then identify them, whether they are negative or positive. If they are negative, turn them into positive. And then from several thoughts, try to come to only one thought and stay with that thought. That's going to be pretty difficult for a lot of people, but these are the steps I'm describing. You don't have to do in one day, but you'll have to do maybe several weeks, several months. Concentrated thought, then identifying the thought, watching the thoughts, identifying the thought, and then coming to one thought, and then going beyond that one thought into very blissful solitude of mind. I made a video on this. So you can do 3 minutes of solitude of mind exercise with the breathing and all that. Follow that video on my YouTube channel and try to do that in the morning and also in the evening. Right after you get up, you do that. Right before you fall asleep, do that. Okay, and make it a habit, and that will help you immensely. So that is a sequence of reflective mind and then eventually going to meditative awareness. And there is a meditation where you close your eyes and focus on the breath and do that. That's a traditional thing. Well, you can start with that, but then eventually you will be open eyes, still meditating, where there's no movement of thought. It's very difficult, I know, but I'm just mentioning it to you. It is there. So for me, that is the reality. Meditatively, I'm aware. That means my thought do not go wherever it wants to go. It is a conscious thought. I kind of do that. Okay. So all these things are important to understand. all that I'm saying is not going to be easy for people who are allowing a lot of information come into their mind, right? Those people cannot do that. So you have to understand where I am exposing myself to so much of information which I don't need, right? So once you understand that, then you can take a simple measures of cutting down those notifications, cutting down those unnecessary gossip, unnecessary news that's not related to your major things of your work or entertainment or family and all that, right? So do these things, then you will be allowing your mind to not to be exposed to the information that's not needed, and also don't have this information overload. Okay, so I call the social media is the world gossip. Many of much of it, but then you can make it such a way that you are investigating your work or you are researching something. You are deliberately using it, not because you are curious about somebody else's personal life, but you are curious about the truth of anything, right? Then you investigate. These AI tools are wonderful that way, but then don't allow that to dominate you, to put in all sorts of information pieces into your mind, and then you don't pay attention to remove it or to finish it. Okay, that's the problem. Once you have that, then you will be in charge of not using your mind as a dumpster or waste basket to allow all sorts of waste. Naturally you can eliminate that. So it's actually happening because we have everything coming from all directions, right? So much pieces of information. Suppose I'm a doctor, I want to read about certain new medical breakthrough. That's fine, but if I'm reading all sorts of filthy gossip and everything else, uh, I'm allowing my mind to be a waste basket of all these things. There is in ancient wisdom a good talk about this. They talked about uh, worldly matters that are not relevant to your family life or your regular work life or your entertainment also, because they are taking us to the lower centers, not to the higher centers, right? All the violence, sex, and all those things, they have a consequence on your mind. So it's not a moral thing, it's just there. So you got to pay attention to that too. Hi Prasad, hi Laura. If any of you have any questions, come up. And there are people on the wisdom too. 9 people: Robert, John Bush, Justin Calloway, LMC, Mike, and Claude, and Duby, Western philosopher Jennifer. So anybody wants to come up and wants to tell me what do you think about this, and any questions or anything, I'll be happy. Laura was saying that that's what I need, good sleep. Yeah, we all need that. We need that because that's our natural way of really regenerating our body and our mind. That's a very important thing. When it was simple life, we didn't have to do anything. We just got exhausted because we had to do a lot of physical work, like agriculture communities and all. But as we got the machinery, as we got more devices and all that, we are not doing that much of physical work. So you have to go to a gym, or you have to go to a yoga studio somewhere else, or you have to walk, and all those things are there. Many people are adopting those physical exercise, which is good. But then when you exercise and tire your body, doesn't necessarily mean that you have given rest to the mind and only absorb what you need. It's much more on the mind than the body sometimes. Okay, if you are exhausted, you go to sleep, but you may get up with lots of dreamy mind, and also really agitated and can't go back. On top of it, if you have taken a couple of wines before sleep, you may wake up in the middle of the night and then you can go back to sleep and toss and turn. That's much more stressful on the system. Diabetics, for example, they need the sleep to restore their metabolic milieu. And a lot of people don't know about it. So I always advise all diabetics, okay, you definitely need this sleep all night, so many people saw that and then fortunately agreed with me, and then they were beginning to sleep. No late nights, no phone and nothing in the bed. Some of those simple things they were able to do, and they found their energy is much better in the morning. That's what I wanted to see. So you could test yourself whether you have. Hi, Laura.
Hello, can you hear me? Am I audible?
Yes, very well. Yeah.
Okay, very good. So I like that you're saying turn off your phone. That's
Yeah.
one thing I have done.
Yeah.
My phone will go to sleep mode like a half an hour before I go to bed,
Very good.
and then sets the alarm for the next morning.
Yeah.
And right now I'm trying to do like not go straight to my phone. I'm turning off the alarm when I wake up.
Yeah.
But then I'm doing some like reading or journaling or something like that before I go to the phone, and of course scroll and listen to Clubhouse or whatever a little bit. Because I know that
there is
social media
there is something
pulls you in.
Yeah. There's something I learned, Laura, I want to share with you. What it is I heard this in the yoga practice. These people, they get up whenever they want. They don't use the alarm. Okay. So I investigated into that, and I wanted to see, because as a physician I need to travel to hospitals, and sometimes I have to take flights to go to different hospitals, right? So I have to, even conferences, so many ways I have to go and sleep in the hotel, sometimes in Chicago hotel, when I go there, I'm in the hotel anyway, other city. I had to get up at 5 o'clock so that I can catch my early morning flight, right? So I kind of wanted to wake up by myself without alarm, right? And the technique I was taught, I kind of did it, and I was able to get up before the flight all the time, no matter when I went to sleep. The How it works is this: you're going to sleep, and you kind of remember, I have to get up at 4:30 because I have a flight at 5:30, whatever, right? Then you fix that time and you meditate on it and go to sleep. And I found myself getting up exactly that time without alarm, without even putting a hotel call also.
Yeah, for the most part, that happens to me.
Yeah.
I'm waking up before my alarm.
Yeah. Yeah.
The other night, I thought for sure I heard my alarm.
Yeah.
I thought I was hearing my alarm. It was like a dream.
Yeah.
Hearing my alarm at like 5:30.
Yeah.
When I had set my alarm for 6:30, and I'm like going, my alarm is not going off. And so I'm going back to sleep. Yeah. And then of course the alarm rang at 6. I got up even before it rang.
Yeah.
But,
that's what I'm saying. You see, we don't have to rely on the stimuli, because waking up with alarm also has a problem. Waking up with the alarm really disturbs your system in a major way. A lot of people cannot get up with alarm; they just bang it and then go back to sleep, and all that is stressful, unnecessary. So I began to experiment with this, and I was lucky because I'm a yoga practitioner in so many ways anyway. So that worked for me. I was delighted when I was not missing flights, and that I don't have to use the alarm. That really made me feel like, oh yeah, this is like a superpower. But not really. But I felt very happy that I was able to wake up without the alarm. So yeah, there are so many things that yoga system teaches us about. For example, they say don't eat unless you are very hungry. By doing that, uh, say what they say is yogis eat only once a day, whereas
Wow.
people like us who are families and all that, we eat twice a day. But if you eat three times a day, then you are going to be having a disease. Rogi means one who have the illness, right? In Sanskrit, they talk about yogi is eka bhukta. Eka means one, bhukta means meal. Eka bhukta. Whereas a samsari, that is a householder, is a dvibhukta. Dvi means twice. Twice a day he will eat. Whereas a rogi, that is a person with a disease, he will eat three times a day. So I thought that was very relevant to modern life because people eat on time, not because they are hungry. So we have to,
Yep.
yeah,
That's what I do.
yeah. So what it is don't eat by time, but eat when you are very, very hungry.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's what I do. I don't eat unless I'm hungry. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if I'm not feeling hungry,
Yeah.
I guess I worry about
No, it
not
depends.
getting enough nutrition.
No, it depends upon the system too. Some people may be diabetic, some people may be malnourished. So many things are there. But once you understand this circadian rhythm acts for us, then you will allow the system to work like that. Then, when you are really hungry, if you eat it, you assimilate the food better, right? And also, you allow the juices to secrete better, and that's why you digest the material. That's why, without doing a formal fasting, you are kind of doing fasting every day, right? And that becomes a good habit. Like I don't have to regularly fast. I just don't eat unless I'm really, really hungry. So it depends upon how your system was used to what conditioning it had. Suppose you are used to establishing your meal certain way, maybe you have interfered with your circadian rhythm. It takes some time to get back to that. You know.
Yeah, it would be because like for me with eating,
Yeah.
it's like it's the first thing that I do in the morning. Take take whatever medication I need to take, and then like I'm having a banana or a protein bar,
yeah,
or something like
yeah,
that, and a big glass of water.
Yeah, that's why it differs from person to person. It's not that, but then natural style is just eat when you are hungry. Now, I don't have to take any medications, luckily, so I don't have to have that thing. I kind of do my yoga class for my students in the morning, and I may be a little hungry before that, so I may have a piece of toast or something, and that is enough. But then I will. Have meal late afternoon, and that is a good meal, and that usually is good for enough for me. So actually, I have to fight with my daughter, my wife all the time because she brings the food at that. She thinks I have to eat at the time, but I always tell her, no, 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 I'm not hungry. I'll eat later. So something like that. It's always a joke with us, both of us.
It is funny.
Yeah. Because she thinks I'm depriving myself or something. But I say, no, no, this is a good thing. I'm teaching my circadian rhythm so that I'm the same weight for so long, Laura. As far as I'm only from 50 pounds, I am that for forever. I didn't have to measure it also. I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have to really lose any weight.
Yeah.
Currently. But I find myself craving snacks in the evening time, which I know is not good for me.
Yeah.
And if I can keep my hands busy, then I don't crave as much.
What do you think about this mental health thing I'm doing? What is your impression?
I like the philosophy
Yeah.
of having a good mindset.
Yeah.
And being positive.
Yeah.
And I think that plays into, if your mindset is in a good place, then everything else
Yeah.
can work together better
Do
than if
you
it's
do
in
you
stressed or
do you think about this information overload I'm talking about?
the what?
Information overload. Too much
Oh
information.
yes. Oh yes.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. I mean, if I just think of, like, I haven't done a lot of social media postings or anything, because
Yeah.
it's like it has felt like overload.
Yeah.
And I'm like going, I don't need all of that. We didn't need it. It's like when I got my cell phone.
Yeah.
There was a lot of things I was doing with it when I first got it,
Yeah.
and I was like doing coupons and
Yeah.
savings and stuff like that. And then my husband says, "Oh well, we need to upgrade,
Mm.
and you're going to need more storage, blah blah blah."
Yeah.
And it's like the time
Yeah.
that's spent with your phone
Yeah.
and checking emails, and that's really overloads me
Yeah.
completely, is the email garbage.
That's so true because what I do with my emails, I get ton of emails, right? I only look at the email that I want to look at. If somebody,
Exactly.
otherwise I don't even want to respond, So I keep my notifications off, and twice a day I will check the emails. I have meetings, I have calendar, all those things are there, so I don't miss them. But all these uh, solicitations, people want me to buy that and this and all that. Those things I don't even pay attention, Otherwise, it becomes too much for us. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I cleared like 3,000 emails off my email
Yeah.
thing, and I just put them all in the junk. And it's like I don't have time to go through and see which ones I want to keep that
Yeah.
I might go back.
Yeah.
I mean, quotation marks, might go back to read.
Yeah. See, my physician friends, they pay attention to these notifications and very quickly they get overwhelmed because there are messages from the patients, nurses, and all. So there are apps that can divide them and then put it there for you what is important, what is not. So using those kind of apps and the network, that becomes much more sane, so that we can empty all those things that we have not solicited, and also they are not our work related, they are not in our network and all that. So there is help in the modern information technology to handle this.
Right.
Yeah. What do you think about the meditation I was talking about, a reflection of on the thoughts?
I think reflections on thoughts.
Yeah.
Like how your day is gone.
Yeah.
And then what your day is going to be like when you wake up in the first part of the morning.
Yeah.
Um, set your intentions.
Yeah.
And then reflecting on how you're
Yeah.
doing with that is very good.
I will tell you what I do with my students who come for the burnout coaching. I tell them, do what is called a review of your reactions of the day. That means you go to work, you have so many encounters, so many negatives also can happen, positives can happen. Right? Somebody may appreciate you, or somebody may criticize you, or you may have an argument with somebody, and all that. Right now, how you react to that kind of each stimuli, you want to reflect on that at the end of the day and just dump them or forgive and forget them, so that you won't go to bed with that. That's one thing. The other thing is, if they are trivial, definitely dump them. But they're very important, don't keep them in your mind. Write it down on a paper and put it next to the bed. In the morning, you can come. Idea is to try to sleep on the as much as possible empty stomach, empty mind, or positive mind. and that helps a lot for them to clear their clutter. Lot of clutter in the mind, a lot of dust and dirt in the mind, that will be cleared. So that's I call it review of reactions as a pre-sleep exercise. Easy to do, but people have to remember and do it on a daily basis. you know.
Yeah, I mean, I having like a pen and paper
Yeah.
next to your bed
Yeah.
is good. I have actually used the method of writing something down. If I go to bed and then I
Yeah.
can't quiet my mind,
Yeah.
writing it down
Good. Good.
so that I don't
Yeah.
worry about it while I'm trying to sleep,
Yeah.
and I can go back and look what I wrote down.
Yeah. The
And
trick is
say,
to
do I
forget
need to
about
do
that.
something or not do something?
Yeah, the trick is to write it down and forget for the night. That's
Yes,
it. Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. So that is a very important exercise we have to do on a daily basis. And all this combination of things like avoiding all the junk coming to us and also emptying them from the mind, and don't allow these devices to dominate us, get some capacity to keep this aside like a half an hour before, and don't wake them up. This is a simple thing that you are doing, and I always advise is put them to sleep before you go to sleep, and don't wake them up right after you wake up. Delay the waking up for half an hour. That's a
Yeah,
good way to.
I like what you said about the reflection on how you're feeling, your reactions during
Yeah.
the day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I actually had a situation today where um, I was being asked to go help somebody, right?
Okay.
And I just don't have time.
Mm.
And trying to set my boundaries, right?
Yeah.
And knowing that um, this person has asked several times, but has also um, had some negative impacts on my mental health because she's
demanding, probably.
Yeah, she's demanding, and then she's like I was working with her last year, and so she basically stopped getting services from me back in Thanksgiving time.
Okay.
And now, 2 months later, after she discontinued services with me, she's trying to reel me in again. And I could just feel my stomach just tying in knots. I'm like going, this is,
Yeah.
If she wanted services, she should have kept me because I've already filled slots.
Yeah. Yeah. You see, this is very important because it's like imagine honeybees bringing a little bit of honey and putting in the nest, and finally it becomes so heavy it pours down. Like that, these movements of stomach churning or feeling anxious or any of the stress responses that your system generates, that's because sympathetic nervous system activation. That is happening so much more in these modern times, right? So one of the things that I teach about avoiding this sympathetic overload, or to really allay that as an antidote, deep breathing. What it does is deep breathing enhances your parasympathetic nervous system, which is opposite to the sympathetic nervous system, and also reduces your thinking and all that. So cultivate this deep breathing like in the morning. It depends upon how interested you are. At least 6 to 8 times or 10 times you can do that right after getting up, and maybe do once in a while during the day. I refer my physicians who are going to the burning coach. I tell them 1 minute every hour through the day, okay, and then in the evening again after they reflect on their thinking and all that, they can do the deep breathing too before go to sleep. If they can do this reasonably regularly, they will have activated the parasympathetic nervous system, which is the vagus nerve, and it will help you a lot to rest and digest, relax. This is important in the modern age because everybody reacts for everything. They lose their temper, they get angry, they curse, they do other. They think that's they're doing to the other person. No, you are doing to yourself by secreting all these stress hormones. So you don't need them. So it makes sense.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So that kind of people taking advantage of us. We cannot say anything, but we react internally, like you felt a stomach churning, and that's not good stress response. That you don't want to have that, and that's why I teach another principle. Respond to these situations, but don't react emotionally or don't react like that. The more you are deep breathing, the more your reaction will go down, but you will respond to whatever you have to do in that moment.
Yeah, that's I kind of just kind of listened to what she had to say.
Yeah.
And basically said, well, I'm sorry, but I am booked solid. If I had known,
Yeah.
if you had let me know in advance, I may have had an opening.
Yeah.
But um, I gave her some other options that she could maybe talk to a neighbor,
Yeah.
or have her lawnmower guy, pick up some of the sticks that are in her yard or whatever. But
Yeah.
I'm like going, I'm not going there. I'm not going to get pulled in on some hook.
It's good to have those boundaries. See what you can
Yeah.
do, what you cannot do. Now, you can be polite and tell them that's it. That's good enough.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's basically, what I did is like, you know, you could always call your son to come help you.
Yeah.
Oh no, 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 no. Oh, he doesn't do that. It's like going, so you have every excuse she wants me to come. It's like, well, I'm not available.
Yeah.
You know.
So, do you do something called meditation? Do you have a habit of that?
I do. I have a meditation. I actually have two different meditation apps that I use.
Okay.
For meditation. One is called DigiPill.
Yeah, DigiPill.
Yeah. My husband thinks it's a funny sound. He's like, that guy sounds creepy. Yeah, but I'm. So I have those, and then I have Balance. Yeah. And you can choose a male or a female voice.
Very good.
And I have that yearly subscription, and I love it and you can pick like if you're having work stress, you can pick what you want to meditate on. If you're having pain in your body, you can focus on where you don't have pain.
Yeah.
Instead of focusing on the pain that you're having, and then kind of do a body scan of your body mentally. And
it's kind of a detachment, like you are doing. Yeah. So there is something called going into our, especially chronic disease people, chronic pain people. I teach them this. What it is you kind of work yourself into the pain itself, where the pain is not dominating you. So we tell them what's called pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional.
Right.
So you are doing that by taking your attention away from the pain into other parts and all of that. You are deflecting that, and then your pain threshold will automatically go high, so that you can bear the pain that you have. See, deeper understanding about that is psychosomatic medicine is based on you identifying with your thought construct ego. Once you,
I have a physical therapist. He has a book that talks about the psychosomatic pain. And how it can, when you're always concentrating on feeling that pain, then your sensitivity level goes up. Up, up, up. And so you're trying to do when you're not focusing on it. If, like the book says, if there's a tiger coming into your living room, it's a fight or flight, right?
Yeah.
But if you can look at it differently,
Yeah.
then you can lower that.
That's it.
Response mode.
Yeah. See, but the culture is promoting immediate relief of the pain with by taking medication. That's a disservice. It doesn't allow you to develop this kind of resilience, for the pain and all that. So the less medication you take and the more you can bear it reasonably, then you will develop this pain threshold very high, where you can take a lot of pain without really suffering. You know so it's a big topic anyway for the pain and chronic pain in this country, because they are abusing the pain medications like anything, prescription and non-prescription and all that. But the mental health, where you can develop these kind of powers within you, they are not really powers, they are really physiological things. But many people forgot about all that, so they pop up pills very quickly. I'm a physician,
Yeah.
but I kind of reduce pain doses, pain medications, and all that as much as possible. I made a living by cutting down the medications on many patients. I myself don't take any medications now. I always tell them proudly, because I want to teach some things, how to be like that, but at the same time healthy, not to suffer. So that is there. Yeah. Mind
Yeah.
has, yeah, mind has
And
such
the
a,
older we get, the
yeah,
less medicine we should be taking.
yeah,
But the opposite is true
very true. Yeah,
in America. I
yeah,
mean, the older people get, I mean, the
yeah.
fact that, people are taking 10, 12, 20 pills
Oh
a
my
day.
God. If I go to the nursing home, Laura, I see patients
Yeah.
having 40 medicines, 50 medication like that, and they are really surviving on the medication. They're like a frail leaves, they don't have any pain, any life at all, and nothing goes on in their life, but they're surviving because of the medication. I'm totally against that kind of thing. I am 69. I don't take any medication, and I have a very vibrant life. I create, I go out, participate, I enjoy myself and all that. I want the same with my patients. So that's why I kind of teach them polypharmacy is not good. Taking medication for everything is not good, because these medication interact, and those interactions themselves will be a problem. And if you are taking medications, you develop tolerance to them, so you have to increase the dose of the medication for that to be effective. And down the line, the excess dose also has problems for you. So many things. So in this ancient wisdom, I learned about how to live naturally, how to be close to nature, both externally, internally, and also take medications only when you need them. But you can work so hard to be out of that need. Natural lifestyles. So, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually had medication I was taking,
Mm.
and I had taken it for 15 years,
Mm.
Dr. Rao, and
you tapered it.
I got rid of it.
Yeah,
I tapered it down.
That's it.
And I'm like going,
Anybody?
why was I taking it for so long?
Yeah, that's it. That's it. That's the problem that's going on, because people are prescribing mechanically, or they are afraid somebody may sue them. But if you work like you, if I work with a patient like you, then it is very easy for you to get rid of it safely, not taking chances. So,
right.
Yeah, I'm glad
Absolutely.
you got rid of the medication. Very good.
Yeah, and I was, and I'm like the one saying to myself, why did I ever get on it? Well, because the doctor said I had this.
Yeah.
I was having cramps in my legs.
Yeah.
And I had been diagnosed with some rare disease, and then this other doctor says, well, I don't think you have that.
Yeah.
And I'm like going, well, when I took the medication, it took care of the leg cramps because just standing and walking, I felt like my calves were being crushed in a vice.
Yeah.
And but it's not like that anymore.
Anymore. Okay. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
When you need it, you can take for a while. But then if you leave them unconsciously or unaware, then the body gets used to it, and then that becomes another burden. So you got to evaluate right after the condition is resolved and try to at least cut down the medication, if not taking it off completely. There is something going on in the modern medicine, Laura. What we can do now is we can take your genome structure and we can take your cellular biology and we can predict a disease that can happen for you 10 years down the line, right? It's not completely available at a reasonable rate, but eventually you can look for that. We can take a drop of blood and then assess what is your biological cellular health, metabolic profile. So people are working on that. Several companies are working on that. How to make people aware of what they. I call this proactive wellness. That means you can define your wellness proactively and then also face your real picture of your cell health and then repair them or avoid things that are causing the illness.
Right. I mean, that's
Yeah.
one of the things that I worry about is the dementia.
Yeah.
Because it runs in my family, grandparents and aunts and uncles and
now about dementia, see, many of the people who have dementia are not using their mind. So they may have underlying genetic disorder, it may reflect, but then people are doing assembly work before and don't do anything after they retire. They get dementia much because lack of use, right? Don't use it, you'll forget it. But then if you want,
exactly.
yeah, if you want to use it, there are so many puzzles, so many games that people can do. Or the other thing is this deep meditation where you are completely silent, alert, aware, but not sleeping, right? If you can
Right.
maintain that for a while, that's a very good thing for the mind as a whole. Uh, if you go to deeper, there are practices what are called self realization, finding out about your true nature, which has instruments of mind and the body. Most of the time, people think I'm this body, I'm this mind. No, they are your instruments of your true life force that you are. So once you are established in that, then your mind will be under your control. So you do what I teach, what's called conscious thought. You are going to intentionally think about something. You are going to be consciously thinking about something, right? And then you avoid this unconscious flight of thought. You see, that's our deeper meditation thing. But I'm glad you're doing some meditation. But there's so much more in meditation where if you are self realized, that means you are in your true nature, whereby mind don't have the movement. Otherwise, you will be having the movement of mind, which allows the stress hormones to happen. That's why self realized people are the healthiest.
Yeah. Well, that's maybe I can learn something from you on that, and then.
Yeah, there's a lot to realize, and that's why looking at the modern life, it takes you away from that kind of life. So I kind of bring it back to this. I'm a modern physician. I have no problem with the scientific discoveries and all that, but we don't use them all, right? We kind of allow everything to go under the rug, and then allow people to, like at McDonald's is there, we allow people to go and eat and then chronic diseases. We kind of allow all this nonsense of information and then allow our mind to go to rut. That's what I'm saying. Don't be doing like that. Be intelligent, be smart, and then use your mind to help itself. You know.
So when somebody's doing like a self realization meditation, um, what
No,
what kind of things
meditation is
do
the
they
activity.
do?
No, meditation is the activity of the mind to calm
Okay.
down. Self realization is realizing your true nature, which is beyond the body and mind. Whatever meditation you do, whatever calming you do, it is for the mind, not for your true nature. Okay? When you are in true
Okay.
nature, mind is automatically calmed down. It takes a lot to go there, but then it is there. Like a Buddha and other people, they took so much time to do that. But now we have guidance that we could do, attempt to do it. Not that everybody will be successful, but as a matter of fact, whoever is self-realized, who is abiding in the true nature of them, then they have this mind that is silent, solitude mind, and then you use it when you want to. But if you're not using, you're in the silence. You see, that's the biggest blissful thing that can happen to anybody. It's a question of understanding. It's not belief, it's not religious, it's not something conceptual, but it is like a practicing these silent systems where your mind is silent, and that's when you see your real true nature. It can be
I'd
learned.
probably have to. Yeah. I'd have to do it for probably an hour before my mind would be silent.
Yeah.
I'd have too much chatter.
Yeah. From there, you will go there where you are to be in silence to begin with, and then you are using the instrument of thought for your purposes, for your external thing. Like you want a guidance from somewhere, you want to go someplace, then you can use the thought. But psychological, emotional, those things don't have to be that violent like we have now. So you will be blissfully existing, but at the same time, you use the thought as an instrument that is in your control. Not it is a control, and then it is making you the slave. That's what is happening now. That's what I want to bring to people and tell them you don't have to give it everything to your thought, but you can use the thought and keep yourself silent. I have developed some things on the self knowledge and self knowing and self realization, because it takes a lot for people to get out of the bad habits. Like, somebody put you on a medication, you are taking it without knowing why you are taking it. Why do you need to take it or not? Finally, when you don't have to take it, you start then you're making yourself a favor by getting rid of that medication, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
This chatter is also like that. The mental chatter that we live with is unnecessary for you. You can live in silence. See, I was talking to somebody this afternoon, one of my social media course, we were doing it, and then I told him there is what is called meditation with eyes open. He was very surprised about that. It's not like a tall claim. It is there actually. You can walk and be meditation. You can be doing something, be in meditation. Yeah. So it's like kind of a alert, aware, and not sleepy condition, but you are really aware of what is happening in here. I'll tell you a story. There is this sage. He was sitting with a group of people one time, and they were discussing something. I think it's in London somewhere, and they were all sitting down, and all these other people are engaged in deep discussion, argument, and all that. So they are completely lost in that. Suddenly the sage sits up, and then they all thought, oh, something very profound will come out of his mouth. Let's listen to him. And then he says, mangoes, fresh mangoes. Somebody is bringing mangoes down the corridor, so he smelt it because he is so much in the present. That is being meditatively aware in the moment with what is happening in the life. So he was like that because that's why he was kind of uh, was able to smell the mangoes, and as these people are lost in their own minds. That is the difference. Okay, what you can do is you can really be in that kind of awareness where you are silent in your mind, and Actually, he said something like they all wanted to know what is his secret because they were coming to him for 20, 30 years and they could not understand what he's talking about. Then he said, "Oh, I'm going to tell you my secret." He said, "Whatever happens, I don't mind because he doesn't have a mind to mind. But he's a tremendously intelligent, insightful. Even he suggested things to the scientists. So I kind of learned a lot from him too. So you can have that silence and live in silence and use the thought.
That, so do you? So you teach people that?
Yeah, I do. But then they have to make a lot of effort. But that's okay. They can be kind to themselves. Start, you say, like you are doing the meditation, it takes your own time. But that's why not everybody is equal, right? Some people may get it very quickly, some people not. What it is I don't tell them follow this, but I guide them what they will be doing within themselves so that they can discover that. It's not a thing that can be given, you know. It's more like a path is there towards your own inner journey, and that you have to do it yourself. That is a lot of people cannot be that kind of focused, sincere.
Do you think that that's because they just don't want to take the time?
No, their mind is cluttered
Oh,
because of this all the wave that we live with the mind. But once they get bothered by this, oh my God, what is this scattered thought? What are these thoughts happening all the time? Then they become interested, right? And then they want to find the solutions. And you see, the modern life is like indulgence, but ancient life is more like a, detached and discover the treasures that are within us.
so when you talk about, let's say, you get stuck in like past thoughts.
Yeah, don't be in the past. Be, I say this is one mantra I always talk about. Be in the present. That's the
I
mantra.
want I want to be in the present.
That's the
That is
thing.
a good mantra.
Yeah, because if you look at closely, present is the life, whereas memory, past is in our head, already gone, but we are keeping it as a memory. Future is not yet here, but we make it appear in our mind. So if you are in the mind, in the thought, you are not in the present. You are not in the life. Right now it is happening. You and me, we are here. This moment is the life. What is gone 5 minutes ago is already past. So
Right.
the moment you realize, oh, I am not being in touch with what is happening, then you have come into the present. Otherwise, you are always allowing yourself either in the yesterday or today. For example, I talked to you today, Laura, and then I forgot whatever we talked about. We took some things and then went on. And I don't make an image of you based on what we talked about. But next time you come, you may have a different mind, different thing, and all that. If I'm not in touch with you, then I'm not in life. If I kind of have that image about you and relate with you through that image, then I'm missing you, who you are as you are right now.
Okay.
Yeah, that is.
I can kind of see that.
Yeah, it's
Because
very
then you're
simple.
giving
Just
a prejudgment.
yeah, don't do that. Just be here and now. Be in the moment. Relate the present. I'm always in the present. That's what I say. But actual fact is that I am always in the present. So what I did was, I think you can start doing this too. I used to use visual cues to be in the present. So I have a picture called AIP. I used to keep that on my phone, on my watch. So whenever I look at the time or look at my watch or look at my phone, I have this picture AIP. What does it mean is, am I in the present?
Oh, very good.
And that kind of reinforced. And finally, I realized I was never being in the present. I'm always in the thought, either in the back or the front. Then I began to understand. The whole thing about the thought is totally wrong the way we were taught. That has to be under our control, but we allow it to be dominating us. You get rid of it, then you're always in the present.
Yeah, I I guess growing up,
Yeah.
I've been always like looking to the future.
Yeah, that's another thing. Yeah.
That's the other thing,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. You
You
see,
know,
what it is we can make.
if we're living in the future, then we're always in stress mode because
Yes,
we're thinking about what we
exactly.
need
There,
to do.
there
We're
is a
being
way out of
overwhelmed with
that.
what we have to do
Yeah, there is a way
or
out
want
of to
to
do.
do.
There is a way out of do. What it is, you kind of, you know, brain storm for certain thing, and you make a goal and something here. But then the problem is staying in that goal and being anxious about it. What it is to reach the goal, you got several steps, right? And then take one step and be completely with it in the present. Then you automatically go to the next goal and all that next thing and all. But what people are doing is they're so enamored, so stimulated by the goal, they forget the process they are in. They are not in the present of accomplishing these steps leading to the goal. Make the goals, but don't be in the goals, be in the process.
Yeah, yeah, I'm working on that too.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
mean,
just when I do my morning walks, you
yeah,
know, I
yeah,
create a mini habit,
yeah.
and then it's a habit. It's not like, oh, I've got to reach this goal. I've got to
Mm,
go get my morning walk in.
yeah,
It's like I want to do my morning walk because then I get to see the sun come up in the morning. I get to see the sunrise,
yeah,
and I get my exercise. I get to kind of be think and be in the present moment,
yeah.
how I'm feeling, you know.
You can do walking meditation though.
Yeah,
See, each step you are taking, be aware of the touch of the earth or whatever with your feet. If you are not walking barefoot or the shoe, that's where you will be in the moment. What's happening? See,
yeah.
what happens is thoughts come, but between thoughts, there is that awareness movement, silent movement. And the more you are aware of that silence between the thoughts, the more it becomes longer and longer. Eventually, you will be only in awareness and then using thought as a practical tool.
Very interesting.
Mm.
Yeah,
Very blissful
yeah,
if you can achieve that. You will be so happy. Oh my God, I don't have this chatter in my mind. I can think positively. I'm doing a lot of stuff, and I'm not having this gunk accumulating in my mind. And so blissful. Actually, I
yeah.
feel I was blessed because of that. So beautiful. You don't have to do anything, but you feel bliss and happy. They call this ananda in Sanskrit. That's
I've heard that.
yeah, Ananda.
I've heard that.
Yeah,
Ananda.
Ananda.
I've heard that
Yeah,
before.
it is not pleasure. It's not something that you can delay. It's like an unalloyed happiness by itself. By spring, it will come through.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, and I can tell when people are at peace
yeah,
with themselves. I mean, you can feel that energy
yeah.
radiate from them.
It's peace itself. It's not like you are achieving peace. You
Right.
have touched peace itself. Okay, and then you settle down in that, then all the things of the life will come and go, and actually you have more energy to deal with them.
Cool.
Anyway, I'm going to the esoteric thing that a lot of people will think, but these are really possible, and that's why I do a wellness club in the morning. People come and do an hour of awareness with me where we do the yoga exercise, we do the breathing and all that. But we are in the present. So cultivating that during that hour will help them a lot.
So do you do that on Clubhouse or Facebook?
No, no, on my Zoom. I have my own.
Oh, on your Zoom. You have, okay, you actually have a Zoom.
Yeah, yoga studio.
Meeting.
I have a yoga studio.
Gotcha.
So they come on the Zoom, and so that I can see them what they are doing. I can talk to them. It's more like a personalized, right? People are who are interested will come. Say the monthly membership, but I put it like a peanuts, so that more people will use that. But it takes some time for them to get used to it, and they also get into this Facebook group I have, where they can come and talk to me live and all that. So I do it more like a service rather than business. So
yeah, cool. Well, it's been nice talking to you.
same here, Laura. Nice to seeing you. All right, went over the time anyway, so
Yep.
we'll talk some other time. Okay, bye bye.
Have a great day and a good week.
You too.
Maybe talk to you next time.
Yeah, I'm here every day. Anyway.